Imagine standing in an empty room. No furniture, no walls, no floor, no ceiling. Now imagine the room itself disappearing. Imagine space itself fading away. No air, no colors, no darkness, no silence, nothing at all. It is hard to picture because your mind has never seen true nothingness. Everywhere you have ever been has always had something in it. But before the universe existed, there was no space. There was no time. There were no stars or planets. There were no atoms or light. There was no here and no there. There was simply no universe at all. And then, something happened that changed everything forever. The Big Bang is the story of how the universe began. It is the story of how everything that exists today, galaxies, stars, planets, oceans, mountains, trees, animals, and even you, came from something unimaginably small. The name Big Bang sounds like a loud explosion, like fireworks or a giant blast in space. But the beginning of the universe was not an explosion that threw things outward. It was something far stranger and much more beautiful. It was the moment when space itself began to expand. To understand the Big Bang, you must imagine the entire universe crushed into a space smaller than a grain of sand. All the energy, all the matter, all the light, all the forces, all the possibilities of the universe were packed together in a tiny, hot, dense point. It was not sitting inside empty space. It was everything. There was nothing outside it. There was no outside at all. This tiny point did not sit still. It did not wait. It did not hold itself together. Instead, it began to stretch. It began to grow. It began to expand in every direction at once. Space expanded. Time appeared. The universe began to breathe for the first time. This expansion was not gentle. It was fast beyond anything the human mind can imagine. In a fraction of a moment, the universe grew from smaller than a seed to larger than a planet. It continued to grow and cool, creating the possibility for everything we know today. This expansion did not push matter into empty space. It created space as it expanded. It created the room where everything would one day exist. The Big Bang is not the story of an explosion. It is the story of creation. It is the beginning of time. It is the moment when the universe began to write its own history, page by page, star by star, galaxy by galaxy. When you look at the night sky, you are seeing the remains of that beginning. Every star, every planet, every galaxy is a chapter in a story that started long before Earth was born. The light that shines down on you has been traveling for millions or even billions of years. Some of that light began its journey not long after the Big Bang itself. And here is the most amazing part. The Big Bang did not stop. The universe is still expanding today. Every second, galaxies drift farther apart. Space continues to stretch quietly in every direction. You are living inside the Big Bang. It is not something that happened once. It is something that is still happening all around you. To understand how the universe began, we must start at the beginning of everything. The beginning when the universe was smaller than a seed, hotter than a star, brighter than imagination, and more mysterious than any other moment in existence. This is where our journey begins. Not with a blast, but with a spark. Not with destruction, but with creation. Not with noise, but with space itself unfolding from nothing. To understand the Big Bang, you must imagine the universe in its very first moment. Not the universe as you know it now, with stars, galaxies, and space stretching in every direction, but the universe when it was smaller than anything you have ever seen. Imagine holding a tiny seed in your hand. That seed is already small, but now imagine shrinking it 1,000 times. Then imagine shrinking it again, and again. Eventually, you reach something too small to see, too small to touch, too small to picture. That is the closest your mind can get to the size of the universe at its beginning. It was smaller than a grain of sand, smaller than a dust particle. smaller than a speck floating in sunlight. Inside this tiny, tiny space, everything was packed together. Not only the atoms that would one day make stars and planets, but the energy that would power the universe, the forces that would shape galaxies, the rules that would tell matter how to move. The possibility of every world that would ever exist was held inside that one tiny point. This point was unbelievably hot. Not hot like fire, not hot like lava. Much hotter than the center of the sun. Hotter than anything humans can create. Hotter than anything that has ever existed since. The heat was so intense that nothing inside it behaved the way matter behaves today. There were no atoms, no particles, no familiar shapes. Everything was pure energy, swirling in a way that had no pattern. This point was also incredibly dense. Imagine pressing a mountain into a space the size of a pebble. Then imagine pressing all the mountains on Earth into that pebble. Then imagine pressing the entire Earth into that space. The universe was even denser than that. All the matter that would become galaxies, planets, oceans, and life was squeezed into a space far too small to imagine. In this early universe, there was no room to move. There was no up or down, no left or right, no distance, no direction. The universe was not inside anything. There was no container. There was no empty space waiting outside. There was only the universe itself, wrapped tightly inside this tiny point. Then something extraordinary happened. The universe began to expand. It did not explode outward like fireworks. It stretched. It grew. Space itself began to open like a balloon filling with air. The tiny point did not burst into a room. It became the room. Space did not exist before the Big Bang. The Big Bang created space. It created time. It created the possibility for everything that would follow. As the universe expanded, it cooled. The extreme heat began to fade. The energy inside the universe slowed and calmed. The expansion did not stop, but the temperature dropped enough for the first tiny particles to form. These particles were the building blocks of everything that exists today. They were small, but they were the first signs of structure in a universe that had begun as pure, chaotic energy. The early universe was still incredibly dense and incredibly hot, but it was no longer a single point. It was growing at a speed faster than light. Not because things were moving faster than light, but because space itself was stretching faster than light could travel. This may sound impossible, but the laws of physics allow space to expand without needing to move through anything. In these early moments, time had only just begun. Before the Big Bang, there was no before. Time started ticking because space started stretching. The universe finally had a past, a present, and a future. The universe was still only minutes old, but the story of everything had begun. The story of stars, planets, galaxies, and life itself was born in that first stretch of space, inside a universe smaller than a seed. Next, the expansion becomes even more powerful. Space stretches farther. Heat drops. Light begins its first journey. The universe becomes transparent, and the first stars are waiting to be born. Now that the universe has grown from smaller than a seed to something wider and cooler, something even more remarkable begins. The universe does not stop expanding. It expands faster. It stretches in every direction at once, creating more and more space between every point inside it. This moment is one of the most important events in the history of everything. It is called the Great Expansion. To understand this, imagine drawing a small dot on a balloon. That dot is tiny. Now imagine drawing many tiny dots close to each other. These dots do not move on their own. They sit still on the surface. But when you blow air into the balloon, the dots begin to drift apart. They are not walking away from each other. The rubber beneath them is stretching. The space between the dots grows because the balloon grows. This is how the universe expanded. Galaxies did not exist yet. But the tiny particles inside the young universe drifted apart because space itself was stretching. It did not stretch from one center point. It stretched everywhere. Every point expanded in every direction at the same time. This expansion was not slow. It was incredibly fast, faster than light could travel. This may seem confusing if you think of the universe as an object moving through space, but the universe was not moving through anything. It was creating the space itself. Light has a speed limit inside space, but space has no speed limit when it expands. Imagine a piece of dough filled with raisins. If the dough grows, every raisin moves away from every other raisin. But none of the raisins have to move on their own. They drift apart because the dough beneath them stretches. If the dough stretches faster than you can chase a raisin, you will never reach it, even if you run forever. That is what the universe began to do. It stretched faster than anything inside it could keep up with. As space expanded, something important happened. The universe cooled down. It had been unimaginably hot when it was small, but expansion gave energy more room to spread out. Temperature dropped. When the universe cooled enough, tiny particles began to form. These particles were the earliest building blocks of matter: protons, neutrons, electrons. They were small, but they were the beginnings of everything. For a short time, the universe was like a thick, glowing fog. Light could not travel freely. Everything was packed too closely together, and particles kept crashing into light before it could move. The universe shone with brilliant brightness, but that light could not escape. It bounced and scattered everywhere, but with more expansion came more cooling. The particles slowed, they settled, and at a certain temperature, something beautiful and simple happened. Electrons joined with protons to form the first atoms of hydrogen. The universe finally became calm enough for these atoms to exist without being smashed apart by heat. This moment changed everything. For the first time, the universe had stable matter. For the first time, light could travel freely through space. The glowing fog faded. The universe became transparent. Light began its first journey, traveling in every direction. Some of that ancient light is still traveling today. When scientists point special telescopes into space, they can see this old light. It is called the cosmic microwave background, and it is the echo of the great expansion. It is the quiet after the first great storm. The universe was still dark in most places. There were no stars yet, no galaxies, no planets, just a calm, cooling ocean of hydrogen atoms drifting across expanding space. But inside that calmness, tiny ripples formed. These ripples were small areas where particles gathered a little closer together. Gravity began to pull more and more atoms into these ripples. These small ripples would grow. They would become gas clouds. These gas clouds would become stars, and those stars would create light again, brighter than anything that had existed since the first glowing fog faded. But before the stars were born, the universe needed time. Time to stretch, time to cool, time to gather matter into pockets where gravity could begin building. The universe was no longer a tiny seed. It was a vast, expanding space filled with possibility. Now the first lights are ready to appear. Now the first stars are ready to ignite. The universe has expanded. It has cooled. It has become calm enough for atoms to form and for light to travel freely through space. Now something extraordinary is about to happen. The universe is ready to create the very first stars. But before the first stars can shine, the universe must go through a long, quiet period. After the glowing fog faded and light began to move freely, the universe became dark again. It was filled with hydrogen, the simplest and lightest element, drifting silently across space. There was almost nothing else. No planets, no dust, no color, no spark. Only soft ripples where matter gathered just a little more closely together. These ripples were incredibly important. Without them, the universe would have remained empty forever. Gravity began to pull the hydrogen atoms inside each ripple a little closer together. At first, the pull was weak. The atoms drifted slowly, but over millions of years, these tiny clumps grew larger. More atoms fell in. The clumps became clouds. The clouds became heavier. Gravity continued its quiet work, shaping the universe one tiny piece at a time. As these clouds grew denser, something remarkable began to happen. The atoms inside them moved faster. They collided more often. They created heat. The more the clouds collapsed, the hotter they became. The temperature rose higher and higher until the center of each cloud became a ball of glowing gas. When the temperature reached an unimaginable level, something magical happened. Hydrogen atoms began to fuse together. When they fused, they released enormous amounts of energy. Light burst out, heat spread, and the first stars ignited. These first stars were not like the stars you see today. They were huge, much larger than the sun. They were bright, powerful, and fierce. They burned quickly and lived fast. Their light cut through the darkness that had filled the universe for millions of years. For the first time since the Great Expansion, the universe glowed again. The birth of the first stars changed everything. These stars were like the universe's first factories. Inside their hot, bright cores, new elements were created. Not just hydrogen, but helium, carbon, oxygen, and many others. These elements would one day become oceans, rocks, air, plants, animals, and even the cells inside your body. Every element heavier than hydrogen began inside a star. When the first stars grew old, they collapsed and exploded in brilliant supernovas. These explosions spread the new elements across space. Gravity gathered the scattered material again into clouds, and those clouds formed new stars, some smaller and calmer than the first ones. Around some of these newer stars, disks of spinning dust and gas formed. Inside these disks, tiny particles stuck together. They grew into rocks, and those rocks grew into worlds. Planets formed, moons appeared, asteroids drifted, entire solar systems came into being. This process repeated again and again across billions of years, shaping the universe into the complex, beautiful structure it has today. As more stars formed, they gathered into groups. These groups became clusters. Clusters merged into giant, swirling shapes. These shapes became galaxies. The Milky Way, the galaxy you live in, was one of these galaxies. It formed from countless stars, born and reborn, across the long history of the universe. Imagine how far the universe has come. From a space smaller than a seed, hotter than imagination, and filled only with energy, to a universe glowing with billions of stars, spreading light across distances too large to measure. The appearance of light was not just the beginning of brightness. It was the beginning of structure, the beginning of chemistry, the beginning of planets, the beginning of every story that would follow. The universe was no longer dark and empty. It was alive with light and possibility. Now the final step of the cosmic story begins. Galaxies gather. Stars form families, planets take shape, and one of those planets becomes home to life. The universe now glows with stars. Light travels freely, atoms have formed, and the first galaxies begin to swirl in space. But the story does not end here. The universe continues to grow, to shape, to build. And inside this growing structure, our place begins to appear. Galaxies are enormous collections of stars, gas, dust, and invisible matter called dark matter. Each galaxy has billions of stars. Some are small and calm, some are huge and wild. They come in many shapes and sizes. The galaxy you live in, the Milky Way, is a spiral galaxy. It has swirling arms full of stars, dust clouds, and new star systems being born even now. Inside galaxies, something special happens. Among the billions of stars, some have planets orbiting them. These planets can be very different from each other. Some are hot, some are cold, some are rocky, some are gaseous. A very few might even be just the right size and distance from their star to have liquid water. And water, as you know, is critical for life. On one small planet orbiting one ordinary star in one ordinary galaxy, conditions became just right. That planet is Earth. On Earth, over billions of years, life started. Single-celled organisms, then multi-celled, then creatures that could think, feel, and explore. That planet you live on is a part of this cosmic story. The atoms inside your body were once inside stars. The oxygen you breathe was made in a star. The iron in your blood was made in a star. The universe did not simply create Earth and you by accident. It was a process of unfolding, step by step, across space and time. Every star explosion seeded the next generation of stars. Every galaxy merger shaped the shape of spiral arms. Every expanding wave of the universe moved matter into new places. Over billions of years, this process gave rise to complexity, from dust to rocks, from rocks to planets, from planets to life, from life to beings who ask, why? You are here because the universe expanded. The universe cooled, atoms formed, stars were born, galaxies gathered, planets emerged, life appeared, and now you are part of its story. But the universe still grows, it still stretches, galaxies still drift apart, space still expands. You are living inside the Big Bang. You carry inside you the history of everything that ever existed. Your mind, full of curiosity, is part of the universe's unfolding. You are small in size, but you are vast in potential. You are one tiny part of the immense cosmic web, yet you carry the same material that filled ancient stars. You are the universe turned self-aware. Your existence is a triumph of cosmic history. And now, with all that behind you, we come to the present moment. From the tiniest seed of the universe to the complexity of life. From the unknown darkness to your awake mind. From the beginning of everything to this moment where you listen, breathe, and wonder. You have now traveled from the smallest moment in existence to the world you live in today. You have seen the universe when it was smaller than a seed, when it was hotter than any star, and when it was filled only with light and possibility. You have seen it stretch, cool, gather, and grow into a cosmos filled with galaxies, stars, planets, and life. The story of the universe is the story of change, of transformation, and of creation unfolding across billions of years. But the most important part of the Big Bang story is that it never ended. The universe is still expanding right now. Every second, space between galaxies grows wider. Every moment, light continues to travel through the dark. Every day, stars are born and stars die. The universe is not a finished picture. It is a living, changing, growing place. You are inside that growth. You are part of that change. If you look up at the night sky, the light you see is ancient. Some of it began its journey long before Earth existed. Some of it comes from the earliest stars. Some of it carries the echo of the first moments after the universe began. When you see the stars, you are seeing the past. When you see the universe expand, you are watching the Big Bang continue. You are small compared to the size of the universe, but you are also incredibly rare. The atoms inside your body have traveled through stars, explosions, and galaxies to reach this exact moment. You are made of material that was formed in the earliest moments of the universe. You carry inside you the story of everything that ever existed. The Big Bang is not simply the beginning of the universe. It is the beginning of your story. It is the beginning of every breath you take, every step you walk, every thought you think. You are not separate from the universe. You are a continuation of it. The expansion that began billions of years ago made it possible for you to exist now. You are the universe learning about itself. You are the universe becoming aware. You are the result of countless cosmic steps, from the first spark of creation to the formation of galaxies, stars, planets, and life. The next time you look at the sky, remember that everything you see began in the same tiny point. Every star, every galaxy, every world, and every person shares the same beginning. The universe is still growing, still changing, still unfolding, and you are living inside that endless expansion. The Big Bang is not far away. It is not gone. It is the reason you are here. And it is still happening right now.